Okay, now we're recording. And I'm getting a text. Wonder if this is somebody about the Zoom. Nope. Okay. All right. Thank you for being on here tonight. So it is the 9th of September. And for tonight's Dream Team Zoom, I'm going to talk about the top 5 mistakes that we make as promoters for our business with Lavelle. Now, up front, I did not come up with this all on my own. I listened to a podcast today for a woman by the name of Kayla Craft, C-A-Y-L-A, and then Craft, C-R-A-F-T, Kayla Craft. And it was basically her top picks of what network marketers do wrong. So it's pretty general. But I listened to it and I realized that it could definitely be made just for us. So that's what I'm going to go over today. And again, please know that all of these mistakes have been made on my part at some point in time during this business. So this is not a Judgy McJudgerson thing. This is just me trying to, what is it? If I make the mistake, then that way you guys don't have to make it too, kind of thing. All right. So are we ready? Is everybody ready? There's some shuffling. We're good. Okay. All right. So the first mistake that we're going to talk about is, and this is a classic, you guys, it's enrolling anybody that has a pulse, right? Have we all been there? You're like, oh my gosh, that's a human and I need humans and I'm going to sign that human up. Even though the person might say to you, I can't ever remember to take pills. I absolutely hate shakes. I won't take, like they flat out tell you, I don't like this stuff. I won't do it. But you're like, no. You got an email and a credit card and you're alive and I'm signing your ass up, right? And so then what happens? Turns out they don't ever take it right. Sure enough, they don't drink the shakes, right? So the mistake that we make is getting so excited because, yes, there's part of me that's like, everybody can thrive. But in reality, just because they can doesn't mean they will. So it's taking the time to actually qualify. Is this person actually good for this product? Learn about that person, right? You want to find out because if they're not going to be a good fit and you're going to be spending all this time chasing them around, and you're all laughing and nodding your head, but you've all done it. You're like, oh my God, she won't take it the way I keep telling her. Oh my God, she is not ordering the right stuff, right? It's because you just told them what to do, right? And I've done it. I have done it. I try not to do it anymore because it's just not worth my time. I'm going to be so much better off. My business is going to be better off if I actually have someone who's ordering Thrive because they want to try Thrive. Even that sometimes is going to fall through on you. But when you push someone into it because they're alive and breathing, that is mistake number 1. Oh, it scared me. That's my dog. Mistake number 2 is making assumptions about people. And we all, again, do this. No, she's super fit. She already takes XYZ. She won't care about Thrive. This person is loaded. They're not going to want to look at a business opportunity. They have their husband makes tons of money or she makes tons of money, whatever it is. You're already making assumptions about people. And what you need to remember is that it's not your job to make that assumption. It is just your job to share the opportunity that you have. And then it's up to them to make that assumption. So that kind of goes back to the mistake number 1. You just share what you have to offer. Don't make stuff up. Don't push it down their throat. If it's for them, they'll let you know. If it's not, they'll also let you know, right? And you have to remember, just because it isn't just for someone right now. Like, let's say you reached out to someone and maybe at one time they were even asking you questions about Thrive and they were creating an account and then they drop off the face of the earth. That doesn't mean that they might not come back. I think Laura Warren and I were talking earlier and she just flat out said, until someone says to her, please stop keeping me up to date on Thrive or whatever, she keeps keeping them up to date. And that's the thing. You just keep offering it until they make the decision. And you will have people who will be like, please take me off your mailing list or whatever, however they say it. So when that happens, respect that, right? But don't make the assumption that somebody isn't interested or somebody doesn't care. In life, there's always so much going on in the background that you know nothing about that someone's dealing with. You might see somebody at work every day that is smiling and seems happy, but at home they might be in debt up to their eyeballs. They might be super ill and not sharing that with you. So don't assume. Just put out there what you have and then let the chips fall. And here's the thing. If you are focusing so much on, I got to get this person, you're missing the other 10 people that you could be talking to. You're better off to talk to 20 people and get 19 no's, but that one yes is the person who is like, yeah, this is for me. I'm great with taking pills. I love to take shakes. You guys know when you look at your customer list, you've got people who are a pain in the butt and people who you're like, man, I wish I had more of them. Think about how they came into your life. The pains in the butt, did you have to practically order it for them? The ones who love it and they're super easy, were they excited and they ordered it, right? So again, I'm combining 1 and 2, but don't push it on people and enroll them and, you know, just because they're breathing. And also don't just assume because maybe they look healthy and happy or they look like they're rolling in the dough. Because you guys know a truly business-minded person, even if they are rolling in the dough, they're always looking for something else to add to their portfolio of how they make money. And if you look at the Lavelle comp plan, it's pretty much a no-brainer the way it's set up. So don't just assume, right? So that's mistake number 2, is assuming. Mistake number 3, and one that you're all going to laugh when I say it out loud because of me, talking too much, right? Sometimes we just talk too damn much. We want to tell them everything. We want to assure them it's perfect. We get worried about like saying the perfect thing, like that perfect pitch. You're like trying to throw it out and make it just exactly the way it should be. And it doesn't need to be that way. Because again, going back to 1 and 2, there's a quote that says, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. So if you keep that in mind, again, the people who signed up were excited and have been fun to work with. It didn't really matter what you told them. They were ready. They had seen, they had heard, they wanted to be a part of that. So if you screwed up your sales pitch to them, it didn't even matter. Now, the people who are trying to blow you off, who are like, oh my God, here she comes again, and you're coming at them again like that, it doesn't matter what you say because they are not the right person. So you could have like the perfect scripted whatever, doesn't matter. They're not the right person. So that's one version of talking too much, right? The other version is basically zip it up and listen up. Learn about that person. And I said this last night on our Zoom that we had, if when somebody's getting ready to order, if I look at them and I can't tell them which DFT they need, it's because I don't know enough about them. I've not asked them enough questions about their situation, about their stress levels, about their activity levels, about their goals. Because when you really get to know somebody, you don't have to say as much. When somebody is just talking to you on a regular basis and they mention a couple of times that they don't sleep very well, or maybe they mention a couple of times that work is just out of hand, or that they've got a lot of stuff going on in life that's really stressing them out. Really get to know and listen to them. And then you can say, well, I found this thing that's really helped me with my stress. You don't have to say, I found this 1, 2, 3, it's all organic, but you don't have to do that. I found this thing I started taking a couple of years ago that's really helped me with my stress levels. You sound like you're really, really stressed out. Maybe this is something that would help you. When I get home, I'll send you the information. Make it about them, not about you, right? It's not about, I can save you $25 now and $40 down the road. Like, our promos are amazing the way Lavelle throws them at us, but we have to remember we're the only ones that understand that wording. We are the only people that truly understand what that $40 credit rebate means, right? You tell somebody $40 rebate, they think they're getting a check for $40, right? So you got to learn about these people, find out what's going on. And, and same thing, like sometimes somebody's going to say to you, I'm really interested in that, but money is just so tight. Bingo. I've got a couple of loopholes I can do right now that will save you some money. There's a promo going on with the company. Let me do the math for you and I'll explain that. And again, put it in terms that they can understand. So that's number 3, talking too much. Number 4, and this is a big one, you guys, trying to motivate people. This could be trying to motivate a customer, or probably more like in this realm, trying to motivate your team. It is not your job to motivate someone. I will repeat that. It is not your job to motivate someone. And I will tell you from my day job, you cannot motivate somebody. You might inspire somebody. You might educate somebody, but motivation is an internal process, and it is fleeting. And you've all done that. You've watched maybe a YouTube video and be like, Mom, fired up. And then dinner burns and you forget, right? Or you got fired up on Monday and by Thursday, you're like, oh, I'm not fired up anymore at all. Motivation comes and goes, and it is internal. You can get it from external inspiration, but you cannot motivate someone. What you can do as a leader for your team, or your customers, for a leader for your network, is show them the simple routine that will take them forward with their goals. So for a customer, we have the world's most simple routine. It's steps 1, 2, and 3. All you can do is teach your customer, here's how you take steps 1, 2, and 3. You can keep inspiring them by reaching out and maybe sending them a Lavelle story, but you cannot motivate them to take it correctly. You cannot motivate them to take it every day. It is up to them. Think about your teams. Again, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have an amazing system already set up for us to help us daily do our reach outs, our follow-ups, our social media posts, our connections. It's all lined up. It's super simple and it's super duplicatable, which is incredibly important in this type of a business. All you can do is what I do all the time, is remind you that your 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is the core of your business. The 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is the core of your business. I say that doesn't motivate you to go do it, right? I might inspire you. Maybe last night our planning meeting inspired you, but it did not motivate you to do it. It's up to you. It's up to your team. It's up to the individuals. And if you find yourself chasing people and prodding people, you're wasting your time. Because why? Because you can't say the wrong thing to the right person, right? So when you're looking at your team or you're looking at your customers, remember, yes, you want this for them because yes, you know it could help them, but you cannot motivate them. All you can do is keep repeating your 1, 2, 3 for your customers, or your 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 for your downline. Does that make sense? You have to teach self-discipline in the routines and the structure. And then if that is taught, and it's repetition. I mean, it's the same thing. Any of you that have kids, you don't just take them to the little potty the one time and say, okay, this is how we're going to potty from now on, right? It's repetition. It's repetition. It's repetition. You can't motivate them. You can trick them into doing it because they're going to get a Reese cup when they're done. You can inspire them to do it by telling them you're going to get a t-shirt, but you sure as hell are not motivating them to do it, right? They have to finally decide that they do not like having that feeling in their pants, and then they will go to that potty, right? It's a self-induced motivation. All right. The fifth and final one that I'm going to talk about before I open this up for questions is what this girl referred to as a sponsor monster. And this one's a little tricky because in a way you're like, oh my gosh, I totally want to be a sponsor monster, right? So these are people who bring in tons of new people. They're signing people up left and right. And you can probably think of people in the business or other businesses that you see that happening. You're like, they're top enroller, highest PPA. Enrolling your person is only step 1, right? So they might just be enrolling the people with the heartbeat that we talked about in number 1. A sponsor monster is someone who brings people in and then just moves on. So some of you may even feel that way. I don't know. Some of you may have uplines who brought you in and then never did another thing for you. They just kind of left you out to float on your own. And so you know what that felt like, right? So a person who can bring in tons and tons of new people, that's someone who has a lot of influence, right? They've influenced these people to be like, oh my gosh, I want to join this business because this person, is, I don't know, buying a Louis or whatever that attracted the people to you. So they've got some influence over that person. But then when they bring him in, they're not truly a leader because they're not leading their team. So you don't want to just bring people in and then be like, okay, well, listen to this other girl because she's going to tell you what to do, right? If you want to truly be a leader and truly build a strong team, then you have to start leading. You have to start doing the repetition and showing your team what to do. I don't do anything that I don't ask you guys to do as a team, right? I didn't ask you guys to be on the power hour last night and not be on there with you. I don't ask you to do your 5, 4, 3, 2, 1s and not have that thing filled out for today, right? I'm not doing rocket science, right? I'm not over here like making new concoctions with Thrive or coming up with anything different. So I'm keeping it simple so you can keep it simple so we can just keep copying what everybody's doing. And so when you bring somebody in, you got to show them what they need to be copying, right? So don't just be bringing people in and then ditching them at the door or ditching them on someone else's door, which happens sometimes too. So you always want to be a step in front of your team. And that doesn't mean that you're better than your team by any means, but it means that you're trying to move forward. So like, for example, that whole power hour, that was something I learned from another team. And as soon as I learned it, I was like, oh, damn. And we scheduled one because I'm like, we're going to try this and see, because I had never heard of it. So I know you guys had never heard of it. Right. So we tried it. So that's the same thing. Like you got to constantly be doing stuff that you can replicate so that your team can replicate. So not being a sponsor monster is number 5. All right. So that's my part, right? I do want to cover some things really quick though before I open up for questions. Number 1, yes, we still have the whole month of September promotion happening. Number 2, yes, we have a promo that's just happening this week that is also based on new customer orders. Not new customer accounts necessarily, but new customer orders. I did do a live video today in Dream Team where I tried to explain the difference and gave some examples. So if you have questions about that, we can obviously talk about it here, but please take the time to look at that video, tag your teams in it, because like when I look at the faces on Zoom, you guys are the ones who are working your business. So I know you have people under you that may not be working it quite as diligently. So pass that information down to your team, because if you were a little confused when it came out, I can guarantee they're confused when it came out, right? Another note I just want to make sure you guys make, the 19th of this month, that's a Thursday, we have a local coming up for Dream Team at the YMCA at 6:30. So that's actually on the Lavelle fan page, so you can share it that way with people. You can just invite people to come spend some time with you, however you want to present it to people, but that's happening. And there was something else happening and I didn't want to forget, and now I didn't write it down. Is there something I'm forgetting that you guys can think of? If so, just unmute yourself and shout it out. But I feel like there was something else going on. We had the promo. I don't know. It might come to me later. So anyway, so now that I've done all this chitter chattering about 1 through 5, let me hear from you. Have you made these mistakes? Have you done it and not realized it was a mistake? Just unmute yourself and start talking if you've got something to add. Go ahead, Laura. I think, all right. Okay, you're good. Yep.
I mean, as far as signing up people for promoters, I'm the worst. Maybe I'm not the worst, but I was bad.
Right. We used to be
bad. I used to flip my customers like that. As soon as we had double, triple, or we were qualifying for a trip, I mean, I basically bought my trips that way.
Yep.
But I didn't qualify for my trip this time because I refuse to do that. When I'm going to get promoters, they're going to be legit promoters yep. that are going to work, not promoters who really want to just be customers. Right. So, I have a whole chat group of those promoters that I treat as customers basically, but they get the promoter deals. Mm-hmm. But, and I know I've said this before, but if I had not flipped them, I mean, I could be earning my elite auto bonus right now. Yep. So, yep. It's kind, I don't really dwell on that, but it's just kind of like, just learn from that.
Learn for sure.
Yeah. Learn from me.
And that actually triggered the thing I was going to remember whatever. We are switching, like our Autoship program is changing. So if you guys have not looked in your cloud office and read that yet, things are changing. Again, it doesn't kick off till 2020. So you have time to start connecting and talking to your Autoship people, as well as Lavelle is working really hard to reach your Autoship people. I don't want to screw this up, so I'm going to look and see. I know there was actually a support ticket that went out. So I'm going to read this. Okay, I'm sorry if this bores you, but I'm going to read it. Dear Thriver, we have made some exciting software updates, including updating the Autoship system. Your Autoship is currently paused and will remain that way until January 2020. Accordingly, please go to your Autoship profile now and decide, number 1, do you want to remain paused? Or number 2, do you want to activate your Autoship? Or number 3, would you like to delete your Autoship? You have 4 months to make this decision and take the necessary actions. If you take no action, your Autoship will re-engage in January. Like the most important part, I get tongue-tied and mess it up. Basically, you need to go through your list of customers and see who has a paused Autoship. So how do you do that? You go into your cloud office, you go into your customer list, you click on their name, It'll pull it up. If they have a paused auto ship, it'll say under their name, next auto ship paused, or next auto ship scheduled for, like if it's got a date. Those are the people that Lavelle is trying to get a hold of to say, hey, you've got this on pause. Do you really want it that way? Yada, yada, yada. So a support ticket went in, and this person said, my concern is these people that ordered a few years ago and haven't ordered since, are their orders going to go through on January 2020, which is a very valid concern. Mm-hmm. So they wrote back and said, auto ships that are currently paused will remain that way until 2020. That's nearly 4 months. During that time, we are using multiple steps and means of communication to assure all thrivers with paused auto ships receive notice. Email, tracking of opens, bounce backs, etc., just being some of them. We will address those accounts that require additional means to ensure they receive notice. So basically where this is coming from is what Laura was talking about. As you guys know, we have the auto bonus, and then we have the elite auto bonus. The elite auto bonus is based on reoccurring auto ship profiles. So if I went in and let's say I'm a customer under Laura and I had an auto ship and I paused it. If I go back in there and I say release it and let it run, that counts towards one of her elite, a check mark on her elite box. But they just have a huge backlog of all of these paused auto ships, like four or 5 years worth of it's been paused and no one's done anything. Now, most likely if they did go to run someone through, their card's probably going to get declined because it's probably expired by now, but there is a chance that it wouldn't. So they're going to do everything they can. And then you can be proactive with this as well. Again, we're always looking for reasons to talk to people, right? This is it. Hey, and you can just even be honest. Be like, you know what? I remember you ordered 3.5 years ago, and I know that you're not thriving anymore, and I'm okay with that, but I just want to make sure you don't have a paused auto ship. Do you remember your login and password? If so, you can walk them through it, or if they're comfortable with you getting it, and then you can even log in there and do it. Some of us have huge customer lists, and some have a little less. So it just depends on what you're working with. But, I get why they're doing it, but it might also be a headache. So over the next 4 months, again, you got 4 months to do this. But over the next 4 months, that is changing. So just be aware of that auto ships are going to get a little different after that. And that is why, because of the auto elite. Okay. Anybody else? Who else has a question or a comment or a thought on these 5 mistakes that we make as promoters? Courtney. Oops. Courtney, you are unmuted.
Okay. I will definitely say that I have made some of one, if not all of those mistakes that we've talked about.
Same.
And I would think the biggest one is trying to keep people motivated. I feel like I get a good amount of people going and like a good team going, and then like they just fall off. And then I find myself like constantly in the rebuild stage. Mm-hmm. But part of that is I have to blame myself because I haven't been doing the things that I was expecting them to be doing, so it's been definitely a learning process. Right now I have one promoter on my team that's 65 years old, and that's kicking ass. And like she's ordering, her son is joining her, and it's just us right now. So I've kind of been putting my focus on helping her. And I watched a Zoom the other day. I think you actually shared it with me. And it really kind of just like make me take a step back and like open my eyes up. And I was kind of shocked at some of the things that they were saying. Like they would enroll someone and like tell them the steps, and then if you don't hear from them again, then that's on you. Mm-hmm. Like I feel like I have a really hard time doing that. Like I bring somebody in, like I want to be connected with you, I want to talk to you. Like I would have a really hard time just being like, no, like if you don't talk to me, then too bad. Right. But at the same time, maybe I do kind of need to be that way. Like, look, here it is. I can connect you. I can tell you. I can plug you in with these calls and these BIP trainings and all this stuff. And if then they don't do it, then
yep,
I can't make you.
I get your feelings. I'm the same way. I have that like nurturing. I want to help, I want to coddle you through the whole process because I want to prove to you that it really can happen.
Right.
But like you, you've had people that you have coddled. They kind of fought you while you coddled them. and then they disappeared. Those are the people that we probably, we got excited for them and they weren't as excited for us. I will tell you, I'm over 4 years in this business, and every single morning I'm in rebuild stage. I don't care if I have 50 active promoters out killing it. If I had 50 12Ks right now, I would still wake up every morning in building stage. You have constantly got to be building your business, whether it's customers or promoters. And that's the thing. I want you guys to all think right now. I threw out on Facebook earlier today, we're going to do a Zoom tonight at 7. I didn't call you. I didn't text you. I didn't remind you. You're all here, right? You're all big kids. We all did this together. It's the same thing. If you want to see me coddle, go to Dream Team and see all the posts I make during the day, right? That's my job. That's how I'm leading this team. I'm making sure you have the information. I'm making sure I hop in there and share with you. If I have a thought or an idea about a promotion, I'm putting that in there. But then I'm back to my 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, because I got to build my business, right? So those of you that have teams, even if it's 1 or 2 people, if you only have a couple people, then just do a good job of whenever something is shared in Dream Team, whether it's from me or another leader, tag your teams. If you don't feel like you need a group page just yet, then do a group messenger with your team. If you are a 12K or higher, you absolutely should have your own group team or team page. And again, like, so when I share stuff in the, so today I shared the Zoom. Some people are going to go in and tag their team. Some people are going to copy and paste that Zoom and put it in their team page. It's going to trickle down. That's all it has to do is trickle down. You can guarantee that when Maria posts something, it goes to Susan, to Lindsay, to Brittany, to me, it goes down. We just, again, it's duplicate. We just copy, paste. So, yeah, just you lead your team. And if you can lead a cow to water, but you can't make it drink, right? So I'm going to give you guys, I'm going to bring you to the water every single day, several times a day. And if you drink, great. If not, I'm going to go find somebody that might want to drink. And you guys have got to think the same way. So again, I don't think it's necessarily, because I know that what you're talking about, it's not so much as being like harsh and hateful by saying, I gave you the tools and you chose not to do it. So you're not going to hear from me. I think what it means is you're not going to hear from me saying, hey, are you chasing your VIP? Hey, did you reach out to people today? I might still, we have a lot of promoters who have dropped off. It doesn't mean I don't talk to them. It doesn't mean I don't shoot them a message, happy birthday, great to see you, let's have dinner kind of thing. They were my friends, or they got to be my friends. But I'm not taking the time to call people and be like, okay, who'd we reach out to today? Okay, now you need to follow up. You guys are big kids. Everyone's a big kid. And I feel better and better and better the more big kids that we get, right? So that's part of what I think she was saying in that Zoom, is that you want to cast a big net, you want to bring people in, but the cream will always rise to the top. All right, so I'm going to be quiet again. Oops. I'm trying to unmute you. Okay, now.
Okay, so when you were talking, I missed the first one because I couldn't get in the car quick enough, the first mistake. But one of the things you were talking about was really listening to our customers and what they need. And, one of the things that I know I make huge mistakes with is I'm not an active enough listener. And I read something today, and it said that basically, and I'm going to give you the gist of it. It says, we don't listen now to really and truly listen to someone. We listen to them in order to reply back. And there's a difference between the two. And if you really listen, you can hear between the lines of what's going on for someone. And you'll know the exact message to say. And it won't have to be contrived. You won't feel like you had to create it in your note section on your phone and send it. It will come from your heart because you listened to listen, not to reply. And that's one of the things that I'm really working on harder to do better.
Absolutely. I love that. Thank you. The thing you missed was enrolling anybody just because they had a pulse. You can go back and listen to it. You'll understand it right off the bat. All right. Who else has something they want to add? Laura Wernsman, you're unmuted.
I just want to mention something real fast. Something happened today to me that really hurt my feelings, and Tammy knows what it was. It like really, felt like a stab through my heart when this happened. And right after that, on Facebook, this little saying came up, and it was really crazy. You're only overlooked, rejected, and ignored by the people not meant to be in your life. Let go in peace, look ahead in gratitude. It was so crazy. It was like I was meant to see this right after that happened to me.
Yep.
So, and I don't even know why I let it hurt my feelings that bad.
You're human.
It was kind of the timing of how it happened. I was like, wow, that's kind of mean. But yeah, so she wasn't meant to be in my life, I guess. And I can let her go in peace, and I'm okay with that. So anyway, I just thought that was kind of wise words. So.
You got to remember, by her stepping out, she's opened up room for somebody new.
Yeah. I mean, I understand that in the big picture, but in the moment, it was like,
that's
wow.
okay. Jesus swooped right in, and that popped up on your Facebook.
Yep.
It was literally like seconds after it happened.
It was crazy. So anyway, mute me out.
Okay. You're muted. Sherry, you are unmuted.
Okay. So I actually messed up pretty bad today with the really get to know someone. So I've been reaching out to a lot of my friends that I used to work with way back in the day and stuff. And this one girl I thought was really interested in it and everything. And I was just really excited because of all the promos coming out. I'm like, oh my gosh, she might actually love this. And the come to find out, if I really probably reached out and filtered a little bit more, I would have found out she was in a wheelchair. And she has a lot of health problems going on right now. She was super duper nice to say that she thought what I was doing was fantastic and that she loves to watch me running around like crazy, but she's kind of jealous too because she can't do that because she's in a wheelchair. And it broke my heart because I didn't take the time to really get to know her again. Like, I thought I knew her from Facebook, but it just goes to prove that you don't know what's going on in people's life. And even though we get on Facebook and we post what we want to post and we're real and we're not fake, it doesn't mean that everybody else is like that. So it was a really smack upside the head for me. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to step back and really start to just take my time to actually create those relationships. I really am working for the 4K 2000 bonus, but at the same time, I'm not willing to have another one of those conversations come into my life because I felt absolutely horrible. I felt like the worst salesperson out there because I didn't know, and stuff. And she was fantastic and nice, and we're meeting up for coffee and everything will be fine. But it's very important to take the time to get to know people.
I think you can probably say with confidence, everybody on here has done something like that at some point in time. So you are not a horrible person. It was a lesson that was coming your way. I've even used it as examples before where like you reach out to somebody and you're like, this will be so great for you. And they're like, yeah, I'm in the middle of chemo. Like you get that. But again, not everyone's going to put that out there. So don't beat yourself up about it. Just know that it was maybe a not so gentle reminder from the big man that to slow it down. Yeah. In case in point, like don't get me wrong. I want to see you hit 4K and I want to get you to see that bonus too. But again, I don't want to see you do it because of number one, where you just anybody and everybody, because the next month you got to do it again. Right. So, as much as I say I want to be 200K, there's a reason I'm not yet. I got to have the right team in place. I don't want to wake up every day and be like, oh my God, are we going to do it? I want to know we're going to do it. Right. So if it takes you longer, that's okay. But yeah, that's a really good, again, you just got to, I think a lot of times we say build relationships and people read that as, okay, I'm going to send them 1 or 2 questions about her kids in the ball game. And then I'm going to hit her with my Thrive. And that's not what it is. And again, you just put yourself in their shoes. You know when someone wants your wallet, you feel it. So yeah, so don't beat yourself up. Everyone on here has had something like that happen. All right, we've got a little over 3 minutes left. If anybody else has something else they want to add, questions about anything coming up? Do you guys all understand this promo, the difference between the 2 promotions that are happening? Yeah. All right. I'm going to give 2 shout outs while we're on here. Oh, Sonia, you are unmuted.
I was just going to say, could you maybe give us a suggestion again of like a message to shoot for the with the old accounts that we have?
I will tell you, I'll read one that I sent out. This is the one I sent to people today. And these are, I've gone back into old like 3-way chats and stuff like that with people who were interested, but they've never done anything. Hey, Emily, I wanted to pop in and let you know there's a great sale on Thrive this week. They just announced it earlier today. I'm happy to figure out what the best deal is for you if you'd like.
Okay.
Right? Because that is somebody who's still in the chat, and I don't know what DFT she needs. So I don't know enough to start throwing numbers at her yet. I don't know if she's not ordering because of money or if she's not ordering because of help. I don't know. So I just said there's a sale on Thrive because we understand credits and promos and da-da-da-da. That's a sale. To a regular person, that is something on sale. So I just say there's a sale. They announced it earlier today, trying to let you know as soon as I can, let me know if I can help you kind of thing. So I'm just keeping it real simple until I get a response back. Then when I get a response back, depending on what it is, then I can start just on my own doing the math for them. Will it be easier to order this way or that way and like figure it out from there? So I'm keeping it pretty simple.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So my 2 shout outs real quick because we got 2 minutes. Number 1, shout out to Sonia Whalen because this girl made some friends in one of her Facebook groups. And I know a lot of you probably saw this earlier in the chat, but I wanted to share this. Sonia actually went into one of the groups that she's in. It's one of those Harley groups and just said, hey, I'm going to introduce myself. I've been commenting and talking, but I've never really said, and you know how awkward it is to introduce yourself, but she did a great job. She said why she loved that group, like what it was about the Harley. And she said she rides with ladies and she loves to, if anybody wants to join. Well, some people friend requested her based on that. And then out of the blue, Sonia's just been being herself on Facebook, being herself in the groups. This girl said, hey, tell me about this Thrive, or however she worded it. Sonia was the hunted, not the hunter. That is like the holy grail of what we're trying to do. So huge shout out to Sonia. And then my second one, and I'm sure I'm missing stuff, but my second one, Sherry Lansing has taken the leap and she's going to be doing her own skin Thrive. I'm probably calling it wrong, but she's doing her own event. So I'm super, super proud of her for stepping up and doing her own event. So before we have a minute left, does anybody else have a shout out they want to do? Laura Wordsman.
I do. I want to shout out to Sonia because she immediately put me in a 3-way chat with that woman. And I mean, I did a quick voice clip. I shared my story from the fan page and she's like, I want it.
Nice.
I mean, it was that easy, wasn't it, Sonia?
Perfect.
So yeah. So don't make it hard, guys. I mean, just make it's easy.
Olivia's clapping for you. All right. So we have less than a minute. So unless somebody waves at me in a panic, I don't see anybody waving. All right. I'm going to say good night to all. Have a fabulous week. As always, if you need me, I'm on that little thing called Dream Team and I'm on my phone at all times. Bye.